We're commemorating the sacrifice of our King, Hamashiach Yahweh, right? We're commemorating his mighty sacrifice, man. He went to the death and to the torment with no fear, with nothing but courage and complete faith in the Most High God that he will be resurrected and serve at the right hand of the Most High God, man. Right? So when you keep in this Passover, you have to make sure that you are ready to partake of that unleavened bread. You have to make sure that you're ready to partake of that lamb. You have to make sure that you're ready to partake of that bitter herb. Because this is not a light thing. This is a mighty and heavy feast day to be a part of. And it's a blessing and an honor and a great mercy from the Most High God to be a part of. So take this with much gratitude and with much sincerity. And when the next Passover comes, you're even more defined and even better than before. Kwam Yasha'Allah. Shalom.
To wrestle against the evils of this world, because the scriptures say what? We wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities and evil and wickedness in the high places, man. Right? That's what you're fighting against, man.
Why fighting the evil powers? The bombs, the medicine, something to ease our spirit, something to ease our soul. Where's the medicine for our land? Where's the medicine for our people today? But we got it right here.
When you come into this truth, you gotta know what you're signing up for. That's why the scriptures say what? If you come to serve the Lord, prepare yourself for temptation. That's how you come to talk to that power. Right? That's
right. That purges you and makes you clean physically. But this is a great parable, but purges.
Live longer. We here for what we here for. What you here for? The story to tell. I don't know where my story gonna end, but if I wake up, I'll do it again. I just gotta live longer.
Above all nations, a brand rooted with our heritage in mind. Featuring the Babylon Has Fallen hoodie, this mighty piece is a bold statement describing the times we're living in. Also perfect for keeping warm while standing firm in your faith. You won't be able to miss the vibrant Song of Solomon tee, inspired by Song of Solomon 1 and 10, a piece that represents our royal heritage that the Most High gave us. Head over to aboveallnations.shop to grab yours now. They're moving fast. That's aboveallnations.shop. Kwam Yasha'Allah.
I hope y'all like that. That was Supplication by Roy the Chef. It's dangerous out here. I hope you guys make it home safe.
why is she evil?
Because like, yeah, they just say
She into a skull.
nah, she just say evil for us. It's like crazy.
She's just crazy.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, like he's saying. Yo, check it out. You ain't worry about that.
They're gonna show you at the end.
So that is that a knocking out? That's probably
Yo, what was that about? Don't worry about it. You wouldn't understand.
figure out where I fit. I see the world for what it is. Down to the gates of hell we descend, serving the gods of our fathers without no need to repent. We morally blinded, looking for water in dry deserts. With our efforts we apply more pressure. Who be praying for me? Trying to pull out some pleasure from pain, and we keep this up until nothing remains. The world keeps spinning, poor get poor, rich get rich, the good die young. Shots pop, chicks get hit, death is surround us. You can't escape the angel when he calls. Your days are numbered, don't you waste them all. And time keep ticking, with the hand of God I write my vision, hoping my family can go and make a lifestyle with it. Your pain come with a story, you could beat your issue, but if you kill yourself today, you gon' take it with you. Live longer, we here for what we here for.
What you here for?
The story to tell. I don't know where my story gon' end, but if I wake up, I'll do it again. I just gotta live longer. I just gotta live longer. Who am I? I'm just passing by with the wisdom from the one. Don't you forget it. You were sent on this mission to bear witness. Humanity tripping, right and wrong inside the pot, they mixed it. Kill a kid with a gun, shoot him down in his kitchen. Kill a kid in the womb, they gon' tell you it's different. You should ask, what's life? The burden you carry is to observe. In a place where you get nailed to a cross, speaking the word. Take laws, break laws, who really protect it? In God we trust, who really respect it? This America race to the finish line, black and white, who supreme? 60 shots, knee to the neck. Yeah, it's hard to breathe, you crying for peace, trying to release anger, you hanging your head down in defeat, cause you see your people in need. Who are we? Questions we avoid, not to get destroyed. For the pleasures we enjoy, we ain't making noise. You see us struggling, lack of understanding of our nature. The way we truly are is not the way they take us. Dealing with scars that the last generation gave us. Parents create us, but they can't save us. Some sleeping in a slumber, they'll never wake up. For the sake of everything good, I'd save them all if I could. Listen clear, be aware, your pain come with a story. Don't forget to leave it here, live longer. We here for what we here for.
What you here for?
Got a story to tell. I don't know where my story gon' end, but if I wake up, I'll do it again. I just gotta live longer.
Do it again. Do it again.
I just gotta live longer. Lonely roads get more lonely.
Welcome to Pillars of Rest, where you can find special material for our sisters, by our sisters. This is a Sons of Thunder exclusive platform focused on building, encouraging, uplifting, and engaging with the daughters of Zion. Here you'll find personalized and interactive content geared towards showing what it truly means to be a pillar of rest. Interviews, scripture breakdowns, tips on motherhood, marriage, and testimonials are just the beginning of the many things to learn from and enjoy in this program.
Thank you for watching. If you would like to support the body, you can donate via Cash App, PayPal, or Zelle. We are the Sons of Thunder. It's our heart's prayer and desire for Israel that they might be saved.
Shalom, shalom, Yasha Allah, shalom.
Shalom.
Welcome to Conversation for the Nation. And we got a very, very special class for you brothers and sisters tonight. And we got Captain Yasha Allah joining us. The title of this lesson is They Devour Us. And you really want to tap into this thing, make sure you got your pen, pad, your Bibles, okay, your Apocrypha, right? And you're ready to take notes, precept your Bible, all right, and all that great stuff, okay? Hey, listen, we're coming up on the Feast of Tabernacles, brothers and sisters, the Feast of Tabernacles. Our time period for the Feast of Tabernacles is going to be October the 5th through October the 12th, okay? But we're actually going to be outside right? Meaning as a group, starting on that Thursday. Okay, you'll get all those details, right? You'll get all of those details when you RSVP. Okay, I want to set our link to the Eventbrite because this is how you're going to get your tickets. All right, this is how you're going to get your tickets through the Eventbrite link, brothers and sisters. I'm going to put it in the chat. Okay, I'm going to put it in the chat for you, brothers and sisters. That way you can go ahead and get your tickets now. Okay, give me just a second. Okay, there it is. Stay with me, family. Stay with me. All right. If you want to join us for the Feast of Tabernacles, right? All you got to do is click that link that I just posted in the chat right there. Okay. Click that link that I just posted in the chat. Okay. And it will go ahead and get you turned over. All right. So that you can RSVP for this mighty feast day. Now, listen up. You executive Patreon members, and you YouTube members who hold the highest seat on YouTube. If you got our highest membership package on YouTube, be on the lookout for a code. So don't RSVP just yet. Okay, don't RSVP just yet if you are a part of those tiers. Okay, and if you want to get a discount, it will behoove you to become a executive Patreon member. Okay, or join the highest tier of YouTube membership. All right, that way you can go ahead and get those amenities, man, like these discounts, all right, that we have. So look out for that code, okay? So Feast of Tabernacles 2025, all right, October the 5th through October the 12th, all right? We're going to get together. We're going to have a Yapa time in the spirit and power of Yahushua, okay? And remember, this feast day right here is one of the 3 major feast days. Well, we're supposed to gather ourselves together. I'm talking about the men right now. I'm talking about the men. We want to see our young women. You know what I mean? We want to see our women and our children as well. But our men are commanded. They are commanded, all right, to come before the Lord, all right, and come together with their brothers and their sisters, all right, to keep this feast. Come. All praise to the Most High.
God.
Shema Mashiach Yahushua. So click that link right there, and that's how you can go ahead and RSVP. I just put it in the chat. That's that HTTPS / kind of URL link. Con. Praise to the Most High. The brother Asha Allah seems like he doggone eager and ready. Okay, he seems like he's eager and ready. All right. Hey, you want to say something to the people? Go ahead, King.
Hey, Shalom, family. It's definitely a great honor, pleasure to be on here tonight on C4N. As a fan of C4N, it's unreal, man. First C4N class. All right. C4N represents something that is much needed in our nation. We need this candid conversation for the nation, where brothers like Adonai Ma'akaya gets on the stage and really tells you the reality that you live in. That's what C4N represents for me. It represents a reality check for our people. Because you got to understand, though the algorithm is against us, these classes are not just for those of you that follow and study with us, right? And worship as we worship. It's also for our people who we're trying to reach who haven't found this truth yet, right? So these conversations for the nation are important. And it's good that we talk as men and as women, those of you listening, and even your children who should be listening to these, because, Esau's telling you what he wants you to understand. Esau's giving the information he wants you to hear, right? But what Esau's not going to do is tell you on live national TV that he's the devil the Bible speaks of. You know where you're going to get that from? Conversation for the Nation. All right?
Count to one.
That's right, King. That's right. All right. And so, the title of the brothers' class, man, tonight is They Devour Us. Okay. He shared with me, how he's going to break this thing down. Okay. And I'm going to tell you something, man. It's going to be very intriguing. This is going to be one for the ages. Okay. This is going to be a very, very good lesson. Okay. All right, so you brothers and sisters, man, you know what I mean? Hey, get ready, all right, to be moved in the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem HaMashiach Yahweh Shai. Hey, but first, before we start, okay, we'd like to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh Bahashem HaMashiach Yahweh Shai. Okay, got to remember to give all praises, glory, and honor to the Most High God, all right, in the name of his Son. If you ever wonder why we say and we salute with Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai, that's what we're saying. The Most High God in the name of Yahweh Shai. Okay, that's that order in Colossians, all right, chapter 3. All right, Colossians chapter 3. All right, do all things, all right, in the name, all right, of Yahweh Shai, giving thanks to the Father by him. Right?
That's right.
By
That's right.
Yahweh Shai, because Yahweh Shai is our mediator.
That's right.
You can't get to the Father, all right, but to Yahweh Shai. All right. Hey, also, hey, I saw y'all's a bad post in the chat. Hey, y'all's a bad, you can come on here if you want to too, man. Okay, hey, but I posted the wrong link in the chat. I sent the doggone YouTube link earlier when I meant to send the StreamYard link. Okay, so that link is in the chat. Okay, if you brothers and sisters are wondering why we limited ourselves to the music tonight, I was talking to Adawan before we came on. Okay, and we're getting a lot of copyright strikes. All right, the brother Artem, I'm sorry, let me say his name right. Artem, I'm pretty sure that's how you pronounce his name. It's real slick how he got that thing. All right, I love that brother's music. Okay, Artem, I think is how you say his name. Okay, and that makes sense if you heard what I just said. Artem, All right, the brother Artem's music is good. All right, so we're able to play his. All right, but we're getting copyright strikes, man. Okay, getting copyright strikes, so we can't play the music. Okay, all right, so brothers need to make sure that stuff's clean. All right, so we're not damaging our brand. Okay. Hey, Levi. Hey, we're at your mercy tonight. I'm giving this brother full reign of the platform tonight. I'm gonna read for him. Okay. If you need me to point make, I will. But I'm gonna sit back here and be edified tonight. All right, go ahead, Decade.
So, family, tonight we have a lesson and really a conversation, right? Being true to the theme of this class that we are blessed with every Thursday on various historical topics and real life events that are prevalent to today, right? I'm Captain Asha Allah, and as you know me, once I began to study a topic and begun to dissect it, I go all in, right? I learned that from my elders, right? My teachers before me, right? Who showed me that if you're gonna learn something, you gotta learn it. If you're gonna study something, you gotta study it. Know what you're talking about, right? And tonight doesn't change anything. As you see in the title, they devour children. This conversation is going to be a heavy conversation because this conversation deals in a very dark reality that many of our people are now starting to begin to realize. We're surrounded by monsters. And what these monsters have successfully done is orchestrate a design for you on the world stage that you represent the worst of society. You represent the super predator. You represent everything that's wrong with the human nature, right? This is a stereotype that's been placed on our people, and have been placed on our people for the reason of disconnecting us with the image of God. Because the people who have done that are completely and totally engrossed in everything that stands against what it means to be made in the image of God. And we're going to show that tonight. So the narrative that black men are violent, the narrative that black men are depraved, that ends with the understanding that the people who have given you that title are truly the depraved ones, right? And we're going to show that tonight. So before I get into my lesson, I would like to highlight a lesson that the elder did before. Adawan, would you like to give them the title of that lesson again?
Yeah, Khan. So, and we ended up taking the lesson off, but he's talking about the lesson, hegemonic deception. Okay, hegemonic deception. Now listen. If you remember that lesson, we were interrupted in that lesson. Somehow, all right, we had all kind of technical difficulties. Okay, hey,
right.
Captain Markari was literally zapped from the live. I couldn't even get back on the live. Okay,
yeah,
because we was giving it to these devils, man. We was giving it to these devils. I literally got zapped. I couldn't even get back on the StreamYard. Okay, but hegemonic deception, all right, was the lesson, and what we were going into is how a narrative is being painted by the powers that be, right? And it's and our people are sheep. That's why you gotta understand the Most High is a poet.
Mm-hmm.
The Most High is a poet, and his prophets use a poetic speech when they speak. So when he says we're lost sheep, it means that we are in, all right, we are in need of a leader, right? So you have various people who set themselves up to be our leader, right?
That's right.
And we're that clueless sheep that just, monkey see, monkey do. We just follow what we see, okay? And hegemonic deception is the powers that be that have, come together to, just like it says in the book of Psalms chapter 83, right?
Right.
To cut off the name of Israel, right? And put themselves in our seat, okay? And we've been completely destroyed. We're going to do a lesson on Patreon, okay? I'm going to put it on the Patreon, all right? They're going to be interrupting our lessons, okay? And doing us dirty like that. I'm going to put it on Patreon, and you brothers and sisters will enjoy it. That's going to be my next Patreon lesson, so I owe Adawan that in the next couple days. Okay, so I just made a promise to Adawan. I got to make that happen. Hey, go ahead, King.
And the reason why I wanted to highlight that is because if we should experience anything like those past few lessons that we've displayed on the channel that were interrupted, I will be doing a deep dive on this topic on Patreon as well. You heard the breakdown by Adawan Ma'ikaya. You heard the breakdown a couple months back by the elder on Friday night class that went into some of the demonic practices that these politicians that rule over us indulge in, right? Your Bohemian Grove, so on and so forth. That lesson is still up on the channel. I would suggest you go and view that after this. Also, Captain Kaya did a lesson a week or two back on the puppeteers behind World War I. I suggest you go and take a look at that, right?
Watchtower. Hey, sign up, subscribe to the Watchtower channel, SOT Watchtower.
SOT Watchtower, shout out to those brothers. They teach every Tuesday, right? On that channel, Truth Tuesday. Now, a certain theme is shared in common with all these topics. And that theme is this. We'll start off with a scripture. Let me get Ephesians chapter 6 and verse 12. I'm gonna share my screen. Right, as y'all see a familiar setup. I'm in the elders, the elder studio, right? I want to give y'all that visual pleasure, man. He got a nice setup. I thought if I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do it professionally, all right? Until I get my studio built up. Right. Let's do that. Share
That's
screen.
right. Hey, tell Adawan, hey, we got some magic to make up in there. Hey, tell him I ain't forgot.
Con. Hey, he hear you. He on this class. And he say, Adawan, don't be dodging that album drop. People want to know. All right. All right, go ahead and read that, brother.
Counter to one. This is the book of Ephesians, chapter 6 and verse 12. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places.
Now, the way that the Christian has purposed Ephesians 6 and 12 is to teach you that men are not your enemies. But that is the furthest thing from the truth. The furthest thing from the truth is to teach you that you do not have enemies on this earth. No, you do. Ephesians 6 and 12 is not designed to teach you that you have an enemy that you can never see and that you would never know. And instead, the people who enact as the arm of Satan those aren't your enemies. You have to love them through their wicked. No, the scriptures was not designed to teach that. That is Roman Catholic doctrine taught to lullaby you into the oppression that they rule over you with. Ephesians 6 and 12 is meant to teach you that the people that sit in these high places and these places of power, these are the rulers of darkness. And their wickedness is deep within them. Right? We're going to go into some more scriptures to prove that. Because there are many psalmists that cried out to the Most High about the wicked nature of the men that surrounded them on all sides, who are deemed as enemies of God, and how they are not in trouble as other men. And what we are about to demonstrate to you tonight is these men are not in trouble. These men have ruled over you perversely and wickedly. And you are told day in and day out that you are evil for hating these people. I'm going to give you a reason to hate these people. Because God hates them, right? Do I not hate them that commit iniquity? Let's see. Adawan, before I show my tabs, I want you to share those images that I sent you.
Okay, Con.
Right.
I'm going to go ahead and share my screen, okay?
Con. So tonight, what I've done is I've purposely omitted a lot of information in this investigative report. Reason being because I don't want to present a lesson to you in the style of how much time do you have. I want to present a lesson to you that can be digestible and that will paint the picture properly for you, right? In this lesson, we have a person of interest. And as investigative reporters, right? Because that's what we are as well. We're investigative reporters. When we're teaching you that the Trinity is a psyop, when we're teaching you that teaching Immaculate Conception by the Roman Catholic Church so that they can deify Mary is a psyop, when we teach you that the virgin birth to make Christ the Most High God is a psyop, what we're doing is we're doing investigative reports. And one thing your enemy hates more, almost more, than Christ himself is an investigator, right? That's where we are tonight. This person of interest, first person of interest in this topic, his name is John Wayne Gacy. Now, some of you may know this man as the clown killer, the killer clown, right? John Wayne Gacy, right here, as you see in this photo, upon looking at him, you would think this is plain old Edom, plain old goofy corporate Edom, right? See his stupid little tie and his vanilla haircut. He's no threat. Of course, he's no threat. Look at him. That's Esau. Look, this fat little Oompa Loompa. What can he do? Well, that's the thing. See, you were conquered for a millennia because you thought of these people as non-threatening. See the psyop? The psyop is these people could never be perceived as a threat, but you, so-called black man, black woman, and black child, you are the most dangerous creature to walk the earth. This man was convicted of the murder of 50 plus people. This man right here. The same man that you tell us we should trust. The same man you tell us we should open our doors to. The same man you tell us we should let walk into the threshold of our church. That man, John Wayne Gacy. But why is this picture in particular being shown to you? Because standing right next to him is a certain woman by the name of Rosalind Carter. Now, Rosalind Carter, as you also see in this picture, is the first lady of Jimmy Carter, President of the United States. Why is Rosalind Carter being depicted in a photo next to John Wayne Gacy, a known serial killer, and Jim Jones, another notorious mass murderer who murdered hundreds of black men, women, and children and families under the guise of a spiritual leader? What connection does Rosalind Carter, the first lady of the President of the United States, have to do with these people? Look at Jim Jones. This looks like a hip 1970s, 1960s white man. He'll dance to disco music with you and probably do a bump. But surely this is not a predatorial mass murderer of black people. There's no way. Not this guy. Because the thugs I'm used to seeing on TV hold their pistols sideways and drink 40s on the stoop. No. Your real super predators are the guys in suits that shake hands with political powers. Go back to that Ephesians 6 and 12. Let's show that again.
Counter to one.
I'm going to share my screen.
Okay, let me stop sharing.
I'm going to share my screen. Let's go back to this. Let's see. Y'all excuse me. Go ahead and read it again.
Counter to one. This is the book of Ephesians chapter 6 and verse 12. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places.
Against spiritual wickedness in high places. That is these people. That is your wickedness in high places. The wickedness that has the ability to redline you. The wickedness that has the ability to rape, rob, and murder you, and there is no convictions. The wickedness that has the ability to paint a picture concerning your people that you are complete monsters when people like that exist among them. Go to Psalms chapter 73. Y'all gonna learn something. Y'all gonna learn that these people are not people to even be considered as trustworthy and not to be caked for. See, Christianity is a psyop in the sense that it teaches you to have a love for people that continue to murder you and that even hate your God. And in your loving of those people, accept the fact that they brutalize you and devour you, but hate the neighbor that looks like you, because surely all of the depictions of him has to be true. You know, the black man, he's a demon on the earth. He's a mass murderer himself. I mean, look at the gangs of LA, right? What about the black on black violence that happens and that's rampant in your communities? Don't you want to focus on that, buddy Terrell? Don't you want to focus on the black and black violence happening down the street from you? From your cousin Pookie? This is how they talk to you. And it's a reason. Read this. Psalms chapter 73. Read verse 2.
Gone out of one. Shalom out of one.
Shalom out.
This is Psalms chapter 73 and verse 2. But as for me, my feet were almost gone. My steps had well nigh slipped. For I, as envious at the foolish, when I saw the prosperity of the wicked. For there are no bands in their death, but their strength is firm.
Now, a lot of people's reaction when I did this presentation, because I showed this to some of the brothers in the camp, a lot of brothers' reaction was, how can these people do these vicious things that we're seeing and it's proven, and they just nothing happens to them? How? You know, that's the question of the decade today concerning some of the open cases that's happening in the world now, right? And I told you at the beginning of this class, I will be omitting certain names for the sake of this channel so that this lesson may survive, right, for your viewing. Certain things are being questioned. Why is the wicked not being punished for what they're doing? Why are there no bans in their death? Why do they seem to be strong, yet we are oppressed? This was a question of your forefathers. Your forefathers asked the same question, right? How do the ungodly prosper? in the world, they increase in riches. It's just like they get rewarded for the things they do. But I'm gonna show you something, right? I'm gonna show you something. Read verse 19.
Count
Read
out of
verse 8.
one.
Read verse 18.
Count out of one. Psalm 73, verse 18. Surely thou didst set them in slippery places. Thou cast them down into destruction.
The end of these people is destruction at the end of the day. The end of these people, as verse 19 says, is terror and desolation. So as we go into this lesson and this evidence is presented before you of the monsters that surround your community and surround your people, and the enemies of God that you are truly faced with, when that is shown, don't be discouraged, because these people are destined for destruction. The Most High God says his fury will not depart from the house of Esau. He shall be consumed with fire, and he shall devour his own flesh. Which is funny, because when we talk about John Wayne Gacy was a convicted serial killer and sex offender who raped, tortured, and unalived at least 33 young men and boys between 1972 and 1978 in Norwood Park Township, Illinois. Guess where? Was he in the hood? Was he on the south side of Chicago? No, this man was in a suburb of Chicago. This man was in your white, suburban, safe, civilized town, where surely your issues are not depravity and violence. No, that's what's going on with the blacks. No, your suburban white boy, John Wayne Gacy, unalived and raped at least 30 plus young men. Let's see something else about your John Wayne Gacy. Career origins. Can I get a reader for me on that? If you can see that.
Count to one.
I'll read it. Don't worry about it. In 19, you can see it.
Count to one.
Okay, go ahead. Don't strain your eyes, though, brother. I can read it. I got a big screen right here.
Count to one. Select it.
I'm gonna read it for the brother. I'm gonna read it. All right, brother. Brothers don't want to wear their glasses because they think it takes away from the aesthetic. Wear your glasses.
Hey.
There ain't nothing wrong with wearing glasses. All right, you not weak wearing glasses. All right, I'm gonna read this though. In 1960, at age 18, Gacy became involved in politics. Not gangs. He didn't become a Blood. He didn't become a Crip. He didn't join a biker gang. No. He became involved in politics, working as an assistant precinct captain for a local Democratic Party candidate. This led to more criticism from his father, who called him a patsy. The same year, Gacy's father bought him a car. He kept the vehicle's title in his own name until Gacy had paid for it, which took several years. His father would confiscate the keys if Gacy did not do as he said. In April 1962, Gacy purchased an extra set of keys. In response, his father removed the distributor cap, keeping the component for 3 days. Hours after his father replaced the cap, Gacy left home and drove to Las Vegas, Nevada, with $136 in his name in the hope of residing with a cousin. So Gacy lived a normal white boy life of, I don't want any order, and my parents are not going to tell me what to do. I'm going to do what I want, right? But understand something. I want you to understand something very important. Gacy took a liking to politics. A very common thing we're about to see. Just remember that, right? Go down to right here. Now, Upon his interest in politics, Gacy joined a group called the JCs, right? In Waterloo, Gacy joined the local JCs chapter, regularly offering extended hours to the organization in addition to the 12 and 14-hour days he worked managing the restaurants. At meetings, Gacy often provided fried chicken and insisted on being called Colonel. He and other Waterloo JCs were also deeply involved in drug abuse, pornography, prostitution, and wife swapping. Although Gacy was considered ambitious and braggart, the JCs held him in high regard for his fundraising work. In 1967, he was named Outstanding Vice President of the Waterloo JCs and served on the board of directors. Now, one thing I want you to understand about the Waterloo JCs. The Waterloo JCs is a Democratic Party group. This Democratic Party group is tasked with creating fundraisers, creating different various youth programs to get people in the Waterloo area and in the Illinois area to become Democratic, right? They're lobbyists. They lobby for Democratic politicians because it is a good resume to show that I was part of this Democratic activist group when you're running for mayor or any type of political power in Illinois. All right? That's what John Wayne Gacy was part of. Right? Now, John Wayne Gacy was a part of the Democratic Party in Chicago and a board member of the Democratic fundraising party while he was committing these murders. John Wayne Gacy had many ties in politics. Hence why you see him having a picture with the vice president. Go to that second picture that you have, Adawan.
All right, Con.
The close-up.
Share my screen. Stay with me, family. You said the second picture. Talking about that, right?
Yes. Now, this is the picture that we see John Wayne Gacy in with Miss Rosalind. That pendant is an S pendant. And what that pendant indicates is that he's cleared by the Secret Service to be close to these politicians. If you were going to shake hands with Donald Trump, what you're going to need is an S pen. That S pen indicates that you are cleared by the Secret Service to be with this woman. Now, oftentimes, these S pens, before they're given to people and before people are, clear to have these close relationships with these politicians, an extensive background check is established. During the time that this picture was taken, John Wayne Gacy had already killed 26 people. Now, a question has to be asked. People knew that there was an espionage against the President of the United States in the 1950s. That there were people trying to assassinate the president, even as far back as to Teddy Roosevelt, many assassination attempts on his life. Different members of his security had already caught wind that there was a plot to take his life. That is, I would say, Roosevelt would be like the 1930s, 1920s. So around that, someone can fact check that. But a lot older than the 1960s and 70s. You mean to tell me that the Secret Service that is tasked with the protection and well-being of high-ranking members in the White House didn't know that John Wayne Gacy was committing murders in Chicago, Illinois? Which leads to another speculation, right? Upon John Wayne Gacy's conviction, John Wayne Gacy admitted to at least 15 of the murders. These bodies were found under his crawl space, under his house, where these trenches were dug up by a man named Rossi. Rossi was a roommate of John Wayne Gacy. He lived with John Wayne Gacy during the time of these murders. Now, according to Rossi, Rossi did not know that John Wayne was murdering people and burying them under the house. 30 plus bodies. According to Rossi, who they have failed to create any pages about for a good reason, Rossi is the grandson of a very prominent Democrat politician in Chicago who had deep mob ties, right? Go ahead and show that picture, Adawan. I'm sorry, I didn't send it to you. Let me send it to you now. Let me send this to you.
I was saying I only got 3. Yeah, but send it to me.
Yeah, it didn't send. Let me send it to you right now.
Okay.
Right? Now, this man is important to this particular person of interest because the thing about convictions is, as we've done the class on the Friday night class before, the elder exposed it to you, the way the FBI tracks convictions is based on who has been arrested, or rather arrests or crimes is based on who's been arrested. But arrests versus convictions are 2 different things, right? Conviction lists are a lot longer for the white man in comparison to black people, right? The amount of arrests are longer for black people because black people are over-policed and are wrongfully accused and exonerated more times per capita in comparison to their white counterparts, which is very telling, which means that more arrests that happen to white people are convicted. So you have more convicted felons in your white community. But the thing about certain convictions are you cannot be convicted if you have a political immunity. If you commit a crime, even if it's as egregious as murder or any type of assault, right? Any heinous act, you can be exonerated or have the case dismissed because of your political immunity. Are you able to show this picture?
Yeah, I'm sharing it right now, Ben.
Okay, Khan. So let's look at this picture, right? Let's look at this picture.
Can y'all see it?
Y'all see it?
Counter
You see it now.
Can y'all see it? There we go. This man's name is Vito Marzullo. Vito Marzullo is a powerful Chicago alderman, right, for the Democratic Party. Alderman Vito Marzullo, right? His grandson is the Rossi character that we're discussing right now, who was an accomplice of John Wayne Gacy, right? Now, Mr. Marzullo has very deep mob ties in the Chicago area with the Chicago mob. And the Chicago mob, one of the things that they were being investigated for, other than drug trafficking and, of course, murder, was the distribution of what is called snuff films. Now, I would like to give fair warning. The next set of information that is about to be presented to you is very graphic, and it's not suitable for your young children to be watching. Conversation for the Nation is oftentimes a very mature conversation, because who are we really speaking to? We're speaking to you brothers and sisters that are supposed to be vanguards for the nation, right? Especially you men. I need you to understand what type of enemy you have. And for Jake that is just coming onto this and hearing this information, who believes that he has a friend in the white man, gonna have a rude awakening. Mr. Marzullo, his daughter was a congresswoman at the time of the questioning of Mr. Rossi, who was a chairman in the Democratic Party of Chicago. Now, during the time of Rossi's questioning by the police, his mother, the daughter of Mr. Marzullo, came in and told Chicago police and detectives that they will no longer be questioning her son. And after that, there was no more mention of Mr. Rossi, who has eluded any type of questioning or conviction since the John Wayne Gacy case. Mr. Rossi was living in the home of John Wayne Gacy during the time of the murders, and he admitted to being the one who dug the trenches under John Wayne Gacy's home. Why is he not convicted of accomplice to murder? Well, that goes into our Ephesians scripture. You battle against powers and principalities in high places. See, the Christian church cannot have an answer for you of why your son is charged as a felon for jaywalking, but Bobby Smith can walk into a church and shoot up 20 people and get off scot-free.
Yeah, that's right.
Your Christian church has no answer for that. Why? Because they believe the scriptures are never pointing to a true and visible enemy that sits before you to this very day.
Hey, and that thing turning back right, it's turning right back around and becoming more clear, as you look at the events that's going on today in society. If you look at what's going on in Washington, D.C., I don't know if you're gonna touch this, King. I don't want to smear your points. But if you look at what's going on today in Washington, D.C., Trump, he flooded the streets, of Washington, D.C. with National Guard and federal troops. Okay.
Right.
And doing so, he is also starting to impose new law. Okay. Laws like if you, I know if you, he's trying to impose a law that if you unalive somebody in the capital city, death penalty. Okay, he's trying to give you that, right? And also, he's trying to make it to where age has no limitation, right? On the sentencing of the crime. Listen to what Captain Asha'ala is telling you. Age has no, it has no relevance on the sentencing, right, of crime. These are laws that Trump and his people are imposing into and law. All right. Go ahead and yield. Go ahead, King.
Khan. Now, you got to understand something. Laws and bills are blurred because a law is designed to push forward a desire of a certain group of people. If a certain party of people would like for the ability to cross the lines of, let's say, economic or any type of jurisdiction or cross those lines and buy this business or commit crimes and different monopoly tactics, what we're going to do, we're going to create a bill that blurs the line between what's legal and illegal. We're going to create loopholes, right? That's why politics is important, because in the scriptures, we have politics. When a man wanted to rise up and take the throne, as we see many times in the Psalms, like David's own son, Absalom, they gain the people behind them and get military support. That is politics, gaining the support of the people. Solomon had to kill his brother, Adonijah, because Adonijah was trying to get support to take the throne from Solomon. Right? This is politics. This is real life. It's not a fairy tale. This is the reality that you live in. my dear brother and my dear sister. And I'm not talking to you who understand that this is very real. I'm talking to the brother and sister that's on this class and viewing this class and still thinks that the white man is one to become a friend with. Right? Now, back to your friendly white man. Let's show this. All right, I'm gonna share my screen again. Now, one thing the white man has taught you well is connections matter. Who you know matters. Who you rub elbows with matters, because your connection can be the difference between you going to the judge or not. John Wayne Gacy had a slew of potential accomplices. During the time of John Wayne Gacy's conviction and his awaiting of death row, he admitted constantly until his death that he had accomplices. He was not the only one committing these murders. In fact, it was found in investigation that during the disappearance of a certain John Cornell, John Wayne Gacy was not in the state of Illinois. And this common theme was found in at least 20 other murders and bodies that were found under John Wayne Gacy's crawl space. John Wayne Gacy maintained the story that I was not the only one who was committing these murders. I had a network of people that helped me, and I was not in charge, which leads me to the potential accomplices. Robert Ressler, right, in 1980s, Gacy informed FBI profiler Robert Ressler that 2 or 3 PDM employees had assisted in several murders. Ressler believed there were unexplained avenues to the case and that Gacy had killed more than 33 victims in multiple states. Gacy neither confirmed nor denied Ressler's suspicion. Jeffrey Reginald, who had been assaulted and tortured by Gacy in March 1978, was adamant that at one point during his ordeal, a young man with brown hair had watched his abuse and that he saw a light come on elsewhere in the house. Which means there were more than just John Wayne Gacy in that house during the time of these murders. Many of these murders were also filmed and distributed in what's called snuff films. Brings us back to the mention of snuff films. Snuff film is the filming of the torture and oftentimes essay of a person, and is distributed for pornographic enjoyment by depraved people that would buy it. Now, the snuff film industry, yes, you heard me correct, industry, meaning it is organized and has a network of people that benefit from its distribution, was found to be very closely tied to our John Wayne Gacy. But this operation was not only subject to the Illinois area. This operation and trafficking ring was also tied to your very own Houston, Texas, which leads us to our next potential accomplice. Dean Coral. This monster, dubbed as the Candyman, because he was an operator of a candy factory in Houston Heights. He had been known to give free candy to local children, and this is how he would either lure his victims or recruit accomplices to help him in these murders. Now, Dean Coral, a little background on him. Born December 24th, 1939, died August 8th, 1973, was an American serial killer and SA offender who abducted, raped, tortured, and murdered a minimum of 29 teenage boys and young men between 1970 and 1973 in Houston and Pasadena, Texas. He was aided by 2 teenage accomplices, David Owen Brooks and Elmer Wayne Henley. The crimes, which became known as the Houston Mass Murders, came to light after Henley fatally shot Coral. Upon discovery, the case was considered the worst example of serial murder in United States history. Now, this happened in a span of 3 years, where this man killed, and as known, 29, at least 29 teenage boys. Now, the Pied Piper, as he's also known as, was a former military man, right? He was a former military officer and came in, settled down in Houston Heights to run his family's business. Now, this doesn't sound like your routine gangster. This doesn't sound like your routine, thug. This looks like an distinguished man. Look at him. Look at this. Look at this guy. Served in your military, right? Your United States military that you fight for and advocate for when that young black NFL player decides to take a knee because he's tired of witnessing his people get killed in the streets and no convictions go forth. You mentioned guys like this, right? But guys like this were raping and murdering at least 29 plus teenage boys. Yeah, but Colin Kaepernick's the problem. All right, so Coral Candy, right? Let's read about this case. Very, very, very dark. All right. So some of the first known murders. Coral killed his first known victim, an 18-year-old college freshman named Jeffrey Conan, on September 25th, 1970. Conan vanished while hitchhiking with another student from the University of Texas to his parents' home in Houston. He and his hitchhiking companion were picked up by a fellow student near Bergstrom Air Force Base at 3:30 p.m. He was dropped off alone at the corner of Westheimer Road and South Voss Road near the uptown area of Houston at approximately 6:30 p.m. Coral likely offered Conan a lift to his home, which Conan evidently accepted. At the time of Conan's disappearance, Coral lived in the Harold Turbuff apartments, where he had paid a deposit of a month's rent on September 21st. Brooks led police to Conan's body on August 10th, 1973. The body was buried at High Island Beach. Forensic scientists subsequently deduced that the youth had died of asphyxiation caused by manual strangulation and a cloth gag that had been placed in his mouth. The nude body was found buried beneath a large boulder, covered with a layer of lime wrapped in plastic and bound hand and foot with nylon cord, suggesting he had been violated. And we know what that means. As King Saul would say before his death, fall upon me with your sword, or the Philistines should abuse my body. We know what that means. This man was abusing the bodies of these young boys and was unaliving them and hiding their corpses, right? Shortly after Conan's murder, unaliving, Brooks interrupted Coral in the act of SAing two teenage boys whom Coral had strapped to a 4-poster bed. Coral promised Brooks a car in return for his silence. Brooks accepted the offer, and Coral later bought him a green Chevrolet Corvette. That was his gift for aiding in the murder, the unaliving, and SAing of two teenage boys.
Dang.
Coral later told Brooks that he had unalived the two youths and offered him $200, the equivalent of approximately $1,620 as of 2025, for any boy he could lure to Coral's apartment. Now, remember this young man. Remember the name Brooks, one of the accomplices of Coral. See, we teach you constantly, Jake, that the one who charms the snake when he's bitten, he doesn't deserve pity. And we teach you that the wickedness of these people wax like rust. They become more wicked as you get to know them. So you can't trust them. Mr. Brooks is another white youth. Surely this white depraved man has compassion and love for the white youth? No, you see, he's bounding them and essaying them and murdering them, right? But his accomplice is different. See, this is the logic of the black Christian male. There's surely some good in him because he gifted him a car. Let's see what happens to Mr. Brooks later on. Let's look at this. Let's look at this. Scroll down right here. Right? August 8th, 1973. On the evening of August 7th, 1973, Henley invited 20-year-old Timothy Cordell. Now, Henley is the other accomplice of Mr. Coral, right? He has a friend named Timothy Cordell Curley to attend a party at Coral's Pasadena residence. Curley, a casual acquaintance of Coral, who was intended to be his next victim, accepted the offer. Brooks was not present at the time. The two youths arrived at Coral's house, where they sniffed paint fumes and drank alcohol until midnight before leaving the house. You know, casual, regular white youth activities. Promising to return shortly, Henley and Curley then drove back to Houston Heights, and Curley parked his vehicle close to Henley's home. The two exited the vehicle, and Henley, hearing commotion across the street emanating from the home of his 15-year-old friend Rhonda Lewis Williams, walked toward her home. Williams, nursing a sprained ankle, had been beaten by her drunken father that evening, and having resolved to run away from home, had packed several basic belongings into an overnight bag before seeking temporary refuge in a washateria close to her home, where Henley encountered her. Williams accepted Henley's invitation to join him and Carly at Coral's home and climbed into the back seat of Curley's Volkswagen. The trio then drove toward Coral's Pasadena residence. Now, in this white neighborhood, this young white lady is being beaten by her white father, this logical white man. He's beating her up. You know, this is a white neighborhood. So surely this is what it's like to live in a white community. You live in close vicinity to a serial killer. Your friend huffs paint and is an accomplice to that serial killer, and your father beats on you. So white neighborhood, but it's never depicted as these people are complete animals. No, instead, you so-called black man, black woman, child, who is grotesquely oppressed with all manners of oppression, you're the animals. Let's continue to read this, right? Let's wrap up about this Dean Coral. Henley awoke to find himself lying on his stomach and Coral snapping handcuffs onto his wrists. Now, Henley is the accomplice of Mr. Coral. Why is he waking up in Coral's house being handcuffed by Coral? His mouth had been taped shut and his ankles had been bound together. Curley and Williams lay beside Henley, securely bound with nylon rope, gagged with adhesive tape and lying face down on the floor. Curley had been stripped naked. Curley is the friend of Mr. Henley. Noting Henley had awoken, Coral removed the gag from his mouth. Henley protested in vain against Coral's actions, whereupon Coral reiterated that he was angry with Henley for bringing a girl to his house and that he intended to kill all three after he had assaulted and tortured Curley. Now, a common thing we're finding between these two persons of interest that we've gotten to so far, Mr. John Wayne Gacy and Dean Coral, they're rampant homosexuals. Now, something needs to be noted about the spirit of homosexuality. The spirit of homosexuality opens many doors for many demons, because homosexuality is a demon in itself. Now, these people are the physical extension of those spirits. This is in their nature. They are coming out of the womb having these perverse imaginations. But I want you to see this. Today in 2025, the PSYOP, remember that word, PSYOP. Write that down, PSYOP. The PSYOP that is pushed heavily in your community is if you don't accept homosexual lifestyle and ambiguous sexual preferences, you're not a moral man. You know who they've made the spokesperson of that agenda? Your woman. You will never go into a space dominated by your woman, the woman of your bosom, the black woman, and speak against the homosexual community, because they are vanguards of that. That's the PSYOP. The PSYOP is that you accept these perverse ideals, and in doing so, you open the door for the others that follow behind it, that are draped in death. People like your sexually attracted, minor attracted persons is what they're calling them now. MAPS. They have an acronym for them, MAPS. Minor attracted persons. These are people that are sexually attracted to children. You're being told that that is a sexual preference now, and that to speak against them would be the same as speaking against a man for sexually preferring another man. You're just a bigot. Well, this is the door you've opened. You've opened the door for people with this type of imagination to walk into your communities. See, everything is designed for the destruction of the black community, because for the black community to rise up and be what it is destined to be, it's to show the epitome of what it means to be made in the image of God. And to be made in the image of God is to be totally against the wickedness in high places. The wickedness in high places are trying to war with God. And the only way they can war with God is by warring with you.
Hey, that's heavy. That's heavy. That's heavy what the brother is saying. And just to land me back off what the captain is saying, and you wonder why there's a select few of us. You wonder why there's a select few of us that sit at the top, which give you false hope, right? It gives you false hope that you too can achieve such heights, right? Mm-hmm. And get a part of this kingdom. Your Jay-Z's and your Kanye's, okay, and your Michael Jordans, okay, and your Steve Harveys. You wonder why these people sit at the top, right? And those names that I've mentioned, all of them have been mentioned in a negative light. Okay, we just saw what happened to P. Diddy. You're seeing what's going on with Young Thug right now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Hey, look, you wonder why those people are sitting up, all right, in spiritual doggone places of wickedness, right? You know, in those high power seats, right. It's to distract you. It's to distract you. All right. Hey, the brothers going in, man. Hey, this is very interesting. Go ahead, Ken.
Hey, listen. Hey, these people are monsters. To the story of Dean Corll. Dean Corll is important because Dean Corll ran a very large sex trafficking operation in the Houston Heights area and Pasadena area. Much of which John Wayne Gacy and a few of his PDM contractor employees have been linked to. His roommates, Mr. Rossi, so on and so forth. These people were distributors of some of the films that were filmed by Mr. Cordell, Dean Coral, and in its distribution. See, sex trafficking and snuff films is a money-making industry, which means there are clients. There are people who buy this stuff. There are people who go to these people and purchase these services. But who are these people? What people are buying and indulging in these type of egregious acts? Something that's very common in these investigations, a lot of evidence is thrown out and deemed useless to the overall investigation, like the client list. Mr. Dean Coral had at least 8,000 clients in his client list. There was a client list they found in a case when they went and raided his apartment, and they found at least 8,000 very prominent names, political figures, and some actors who were clients of Mr. Coral and his services, which was the trafficking of young teenage boys and children. The DEA got wind of this and picked it up and deemed it unnecessary to the investigation and destroyed the evidence, which has been heavily ridiculed by the public since its inception. You know, this case is very uncannily similar to something that we're witnessing today. Let's move on. Dean Coral, right? In the final confrontation, Dean Coral reiterated that Henley would not bring a girl to his house. He was that much of a sexual deviant that he could not stand a female being there. He only dealt with boys. So Dean Coral, who essayed, unalived, and even consumed his victims, he drew the line at females. Let's keep reading. Henley protested in vain, right? But Coral kept reiterating, "You are not to bring girls to my house." So he is intended to kill all three. And after he assaulted Curly, initially saying, "Man, you blew it bringing that girl," before shouting, "I'm gonna kill you all, but first I'm gonna have my fun." He then repeatedly kicked Williams in the chest, shouting, "Wake up, B." Something to be duly noted is these people enjoy this. They enjoy this. This is a pastime. This is something that it's a passion of theirs. The passion of taking human life and speedily using up creation, right? Let me get a scripture. Go to Wisdom of Solomon. You know, as I dodged the bullet, right? Go to Wisdom of Solomon.
Count to 1, chapter 2.
Chapter 2, read that.
Count to 1, start from the top.
Because the Bible's been telling you for a long time the mind of the wicked, but you didn't believe it. So what the Most High God had to do was place you under the will of these people, these most depraved and sick individuals, this wicked nation, so that you can see for your own eyes, because you are a nation that needs proof of things. You need signs. He gave you a sign right here. These people enjoy this. This is their likeness. Read this.
Count to 1. This is the book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 2 and verse 1. For the ungodly said, reasoning with themselves, but not aright, our life is short and tedious, and in the death of a man there is no remedy. Neither was there any man known to have returned from the grave.
Jump down to verse 12. Read verse 12.
Count to 1. Verse 12. Therefore let us lie in wait for the righteous, because he is not for our turn, and he is clean contrary to our doings. He upbraideth us with our offending the law, and objected to the infamy and transgressing of our education.
See, the mind of the wicked is, because we have but a short time, let's just speedily use up creation and let's stand against the righteous. Let's be contrary to him, because the way that he lives is contrary to us. The way that he even live his life is contrary to our nature. He can't stand you. He can't stand the sight of you operating amongst yourselves in unity and complete bliss, and completely being eschewing the temptations and offerings that he comes with. He can't stand that. There's no way you can live without me.
That's right. Hey, it's crazy though, man. Hey, going back to the point, you're talking about the differences, right? The differences between us, and our chief adversary, Esau, are on full display. The differences, the scriptures told you in the book of Genesis chapter 25. It is detailed, it's descriptive. 2 manner of people are going to be separated from thy bowels, right? Meaning that they're going to have different mannerisms, different ways, right? They even look different.
Mm-hmm.
The children of Israel are supposed to follow the law, statutes, and commandments of the Most High God, right? He gave us that way, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then the children of Edom are supposed to be the exact opposite. I'm looking at stats brothers putting in the chat. Okay, I saw Warrior Micah put in the chat. All right, that there were 37 serial killers between, I think he said the 60s until now. And all 37 of them were so-called white men.
Yep.
All 37 of them.
All of them.
When you look at the real quick, when you look at the school shooters,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Talk about
shooters. Jokers going up, all right, and doggone schools, elementary schools, right? Middle schools, taking out doggone young children. Who you see doing that? Ain't no black folk doing that. Ain't no Mexican folk doing that. And y'all so quick to save these people, man. Huh?
Right.
Go ahead, brother.
Y'all want to save these people, man. These people are not in the business of saving you. They're in the business of devouring you. Look at what they do to each other. Right here, remember, Henley is the accomplice of Mr. Dean Coral. Coral then lifted Henley to his feet and dragged him into his kitchen and placed a .22 caliber pistol against his stomach, threatening to shoot him. Henley calmed Coral, promising to participate in the torture and unaliving of both Williams and Curley if Coral released him. Now, these are 2 of my friends, but what I'm willing to do to bargain for my life is offer to help you unalive my friends, if that means preserving my life. This is the mind of your Edomite friend. Let's keep reading. Coral agreed and untied Henley, then separately carried Curley and Williams into his bedroom and tied them to opposite sides of his torture board. Curley on his stomach, Williams on her back. A transitor radio was placed between Williams and Curley, and the volume turned to maximum to muffle any potential screaming. Coral also removed the adhesive tape from Curley's mouth before informing him of his intentions to look up his, as you see here, anus, as Henley again began inhaling paint fumes from a paper bag. Coral then handed Henley an 18-inch hunting knife and ordered him to cut away Williams' clothes, insisting that while he would grape and kill Curley, Henley would do likewise to Williams. He then shouted, "What are you waiting for?" Henley began cutting away Williams' jeans and panties as Coral placed the pistol on the bedside table, undressed, and began to assault and torture Curley. Both Curley and Williams had awakened by this point. Curley began writhing, pleading, and shouting as Williams whose gag Henley had removed, lifted her head and asked Henley, "Is this for real?" To which Henley answered, "Yes." Williams then asked Henley, "Are you going to do anything about it?" Now, this leads to the very important part, as you see here. This was the end of Mr. Coral. The end of Mr. Coral was his indulging in his depraved imaginations, right? He died while he was enjoying himself, as the wicked are all going to find their end to be in their enjoyment, right? In an apartment attempt to desensitize himself to the unfolding scenario, Henley stood and paced the room as he continued to inhale paint fumes. He then asked Coral whether he might take Williams in another room. Coral ignored him, and Henley then grabbed Coral's pistol, shouting, "You've gone far enough, Dean." So now Mr. Coral has turned against his mentor. I'm sorry, Mr. Henley has turned against his mentor, Mr. Coral, right? "You've gone far enough, Dean." As Coral clambered off Curly, Henley elaborated, "I can't go on any longer. I can't have you kill all my friends." Coral approached Henley, saying, "Kill me, Wayne." Henley stepped back a few paces as Coral continued to advance upon him, shouting, "You won't do it." Henley then fired at Coral, hitting him in the forehead. The bullet failed to fully penetrate Coral's skull. So this devil was so high and so powered up by these demonic entities that was infesting his body, that the bullet that was shot in between his eyes to his skull did not penetrate his skull. As the bullet failed to penetrate Coral's skull, he continued to lurch toward Henley, whereupon the youth fired another 2 rounds, hitting Coral in the left shoulder, with one bullet penetrating Coral's lung and lodging in his spine. Coral began coughing up blood as he ran out of the room, trapping his right foot in a loose telephone wire and hitting the wall of the hallway. Henley fired 3 additional bullets into his lower back and shoulder as Coral slid down the wall in the hallway outside the room where the 2 other teenagers were bound. Coral died where he fell, his naked body facing the wall. Now, that was the end of Dean Coral. That was his death. His death was by the hand of his accomplice who aided in the essaying of his friends. Henley would recall that immediately after he shot Coral, the sole thought in his mind was that Coral would have been proud of the way he had behaved during the confrontation, adding that Coral had been training him to react quickly and forcefully, and that this was exactly what he had done. The end of the mind of this Mr. Henley, who was witnessing his friends being essayed, was that Coral would be proud of me on how I did that. This is the mind of your white youth. The mind of your white youth is the depraved serial killing maniac that taught me how to kill and essay people would be proud of how I murdered him. Those are your people that you cape for day in and day out on Clubhouse. Those are the people that you would kill us to defend. These people. The people who say that your youth are depraved monsters and super predators. Do we see the conundrum here? We're seeing a lot of proof that I think the plot, the story is kind of misrepresented.
It's clear, King.
Now, some of the things that this Dean Coral was doing to his victims, I must say, are very graphic. I'm gonna tell you this. For the sake of the channel, I'm not gonna go too far into detail with some of these things. If you would like to read them on your own, you can. But we see the picture here. What this gets into is that some of the victims, many of the victims of Dean Coral, upon examination, many of them had their, let's say, their sensitive body parts chewed on. Also had Mr. Coral, the way that he would devise these torturing sessions, he would take glass valves, very skinny glass valves, and put them in the urethra of these young men and break them. And he would film all these things. And this would go down as being called the Houston Heights mass murders. Now, the Houston Heights mass murders would be tied to a sex rink in the same area where it was found that these 8,000 plus notable clients, remember, notable clients, were purchasing the films that Mr. Dean Coral was constructing with these young boys, and whose films were also found in the home of our John Wayne Gacy. Sounds very familiar, huh? Sounds very familiar. Let's continue to delve into this wickedness. Now, this brings us to the man of the hour, Mr. Michael Archie Aquino. Mr. Michael Archie Aquino, born October 16th, 1946, died September 1st, 2019, was an American political scientist, military officer, and Satanist. He was the founder and high priest of the Temple of Set. Temple of Set is a denomination, rather, of Satanists that do not believe in God, but believed in the spiritual entity Satan, who is not a demon, but more of a cyclical entity that restores balance to the universe. This is their belief, right? Aquino was also a specialist in psychological warfare for military intelligence and an officer in the U.S. Army. Michael Archie Aquino is the coiner of your term PSYOP. He coined the word PSYOP. His career was decorated with his evaluation of mental warfare against enemies of the state, different communities that were considered domestic terrorists, like your Black Panther Party, so on and so forth. He would also be known for the deconstruction of the Zoom movement. For those of you that may not know, the Zoom movement was a movement in Philadelphia, and I also believe Detroit, where Black people were basically coming together, and it was a do for self doctrine, do for self nature. We're going to be self-sustainable, and we're going to feed and educate our own children. Those people were bombed by police. Tulsa, Oklahoma was not the only bombing on U.S. soil. Look up the Zoom movement and look at how those people who are still alive today, some of them, who witnessed their children burn in buildings because the FBI decided to burn and blow up, drop bombs on their homes and apartments. They have not been they've not been given any justice even to this day, 2025. Right? There you go, Kaya. The Move movement in 1985 Philadelphia. Thank you, Kaya. Kaya, quick with it, right? This brother right here with these demonic eyebrows, these satanic eyebrows, he was recognized for being the forefather of psychological warfare, or otherwise known as PSYOP. This guy, your decorated colonel. Now, something very important about this guy, right? Mr. Michael Archie Aquino was very heavily involved in politics. Very heavily. So much so that there are many politicians like John DeCamp, a Republican politician and former member of the Nebraska legislature, who did an investigation on Mr. Aquino and linked Mr. Aquino to the Franklin child prostitution ring allegations. Now, the Franklin child prostitution ring was a prostitution ring that was linked to the California area, in the state of California, and also to, I bet you didn't guess it, the Houston Heights area, where our Mr. Dean Coral, this demon, was filming snuff films, where he was filming the torture, essaying, and unaliving of young boys with the help of 2 other young boys, whose tapes were also found in the home of John Wayne Gacy, who maintained the story that he had an entire network of people that were helping him, and he was not the lead operator of this network. Now, 8,000 plus notable clients were found on that client list in Dean Coral's home in Pasadena. And subsequently, the DEA thought it was appropriate to burn that evidence. I wonder why. That brings us to this man, Michael Archie Aquino, as it begins to tie in. Mr. Aquino, your decorated colonel for the United States government and the forefather of PSYOP, in November 1986, San Francisco police began investigating allegations of sexual abuse in connection with the Army's Child Development Center and the Presidio of San Francisco, right? A girl came forward in August 1987 and identified Aquino as the culprit. At least 58 out of 100 children who had attended the daycare center showed physical and mental signs of abuse, leading to a lawsuit by the parents of $60 million in damages. An investigation against Aquino was launched, but it was closed after insufficient evidence was found. Now, hold on. There's a certain man that is important to this story, right? A certain man I'm sure that some of you who are aware of, the circumstances that we live under are aware of. Mr. Gary Webb. Now, for some of you that do not know, Mr. Gary Webb is more notably known for his involvement in the whistleblowing of the CIA's involvement in the crack epidemic. The CIA's involvement in the crack epidemic was outlined by Mr. Gary Webb as a shadow government psyop to destroy Black activists and political movements, and also to disrupt any type of political movement in other countries that were against the central infrastructure of the central banking system. The CIA used the dismantling of these governments and these civil wars to fund their operations. And one of the operations that was funded heavily was the crack epidemic, right? The buying and selling of weapons to Black youth and drug dealers and crack to fund their operations overseas. Your Central Intelligence Agency. Now, these are all things that are confirmed because of this man, Gary Webb. Gary Webb was found in his home with 2 gunshot wounds to the head. Now, Gary Webb's death was ruled a suicide, but many observers of his death and the information released by the coroner, who never released pictures of Mr. Gary Webb's body, proved that it was quite impossible with the wounds that were described and sustained by Gary Webb for him to shoot himself twice in the head. Now, beside Mr. Gary Webb committing suicide with a 38 caliber weapon twice in the same spot, Mr. Gary Webb was also a reporter on what's called the Pasadena Mercury newsletter company. The same Pasadena Mercury newsletter company that was involved in the investigation of your Mr. Dean Corll, and also involved in the investigation of a man named Michael Archie Aquino. Now, this man was accused of sexual assault and being investigated by our Mr. Gary Webb a little before his untimely death. Mr. Gary Webb also investigated a man by the name of Joseph Rusanello as the computer begins to spaz. Joseph Rusanello. Joseph Rusanello is an American attorney who served 2 terms as U.S. Attorney for the Northern District of California. So he was your California District Attorney. And who was he District Attorney for? In the time of Michael Archie Aquino's allegations. Mr. Joseph Rusanello, also accused of sexual assault of minors by Mr. Gary Webb, was the district attorney in the 1980s during the time of Mr. Michael Archie Aquino's allegations in November of 1986, San Francisco. The district attorney who was accused of sexually assaulting minors, he dismissed the case of Mr. Michael Archie Aquino. Now, it's very criticized that the evidence that was presented in the hearings and in court, and for it to be ruled insufficient evidence, there was no conversation on the evidence that was presented. Evidence like conversations between Mr. Dean Corll and Michael Archie, found in Mr. Dean Corll's wallet. Mr. Dean Corll had another list of people who he was in business with. One of those people was Michael Archie Aquino. Michael Archie Aquino name was found in the wallet of Dean Corll upon the investigation of his apartment. And of the 58 of 100 children that were found to have evidence of sexual assault being done to them in Mr. Michael Archie Aquino's program, this was ruled as insufficient evidence, and the entire case was completely thrown out in the year 1990. And you know who was the district attorney of that time from the 1980s to 1990s? Mr. Joseph Rosanillo, who was also accused of sexual assault and tied to, ding, 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 you guessed it, the Houston mass murder and Pasadena child trafficking ring. So all these people were substantially proven to be connected to one another. But the only people that were charged and acquitted were the accomplices of Dean Corll, because Dean Corll had died, and John Wayne Gacy, who became the face of this trafficking ring. Now, John Wayne Gacy reminds me of somebody. John Wayne Gacy reminds me of a certain man who became the face of a very rampant trafficking ring in modern day, who had an extensive client list, an extensive dealing with political parties and certain politicians and people of power, Congress members, district attorneys, and even celebrities. And none of those people were convicted. The only one that was convicted was that one man who maintained the story that I had people who were helping and accompanying me in these dealings with these children, who are on the name, or is on the deed of the building on the private island that is also I have extensive transactions with, whose names I will purposely omit from this class. I'll save it for the Patreon as we do deep dives on the Patreon for the sake of this channel and for your viewing. It's very uncanny, the similarities, because the only safe thing about exposing this is that most of these people are dead. And the people who I've omitted, who have been attached to many of these individuals, these people of interest in this case study, are people who still serve as your congressional members and your district attorneys, and even on your judicial system in your Supreme Court. In the Supreme Court, you sit in a seat until you die. These people have maintained their innocence. But could it be that they're innocent? Okay, let's say that is the possibility. But with that possibility, there is also the possibility that because the DEA decided to destroy 8,000 names on a client list found in Dean Corll's apartment, who were members of the DEA, confirmed also by investigators, members of Congress, and members of different legislatures in Chicago, Texas, and California, and even in the White House in Washington. Maybe that's why they're not being convicted. Because as Psalm 73 and verse 4 says, there are no bands in their death, and their strength is firm. They are corrupt and speak wickedly concerning oppression. They speak loftily, and pride compasseth them as a chain. They are not in trouble as other men. See, this is the reality that you live in. The reality that you live in is that you are oppressed by satanic, blackmailed psychopaths that would much rather sacrifice you and their contempt for life in order to maintain their image. Not that they may be remembered for all time as good people, but that they may be beloved by you, for the simple fact that if they're beloved by you, they can continue to get away with what they're doing. And you, Jake, as the guard dog of their society, you are an accomplice to the escape of their justice. That's what you have become. And that's what you've been trained to be. But the purpose of C4N, Conversation for the Nation, is to teach you that these people are not to be trusted, and their roots are deep. The roots of their wickedness runs deep, and it runs deep to choke anything that resembles the likeness of God. And that's you, Jake. So as you continue to combat us and try to prove the white supremacist talking point that black people are inherently evil and violent and have a propensity to sexual violence, I want you to remember Dean Corll. I want you to remember Michael Archie Aquino. the satanic priests. I want you to remember Joseph Rosanilo. And I want you to remember John Wayne Gacy. Because these people are devourers of children. And they will continue to devour children and to speedily use creation because you make a way for them by laying over and being a homeborn slave. There's no bans in their death because you do not hold them to any type of justice, no type of answering for their crimes and their deeds. These people are complete maniacs, and if they'll treat each other like this, best believe me, you're nothing to them. So as you continue to fight for these people, we'll continue to fight for you, and we'll show you the true face of Satan. The true face of Satan is found in the people that you deem your friends, who could never hurt anybody, who surely there is goodness in them, and surely it could never be him. My people do me worse. These are the people who devour children, man.
Hey,
I'm
that's right.
Captain Asha. Hey, man, that's the end of this depraved, sick journey that we just went on.
The brother just brought out a very, very mighty lesson, man. Okay? Very mighty lesson, man. Very informative. And I got a precept, though. All right? I got a precept real quick. And let's go to 2 Thessalonians real quick. Go to 2 Thessalonians chapter 2. Right? Give me 2 Thessalonians chapter 2 and give me verse number 3. All right? Read that. And you don't want to play your videos out? The 2 videos that you...
Oh, yes, of course.
Okay,
Hey, listen. Hey, there's no escape.
All right,
come. Play those.
All right, give me that. Give me 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 3. Read that real quick.
I'm going to pull it up on the screen for the people.
All right, go.
2 Thessalonians what?
2 and 3.
Con. 2 and 3. Hey, man, I'm getting better at this, all right? I don't want the elder to be the only one, having to do this. Let me plug up this so that the computer don't die on me. All right. I want y'all to be able to enjoy the same way that you enjoy Friday night class. I don't want to.
Right.
The same way y'all able to enjoy every other Thursday night. I want y'all to enjoy the class the same way.
That's right.
I don't want to ruin this flow that the elder got on C4N. All right. Share the screen for y'all.
Hey, bring it up. 2 Thessalonians chapter 2 and 3.
Con.
Order to 1. This is the book of 2 Thessalonians chapter 2 and verse 3. Let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come, except there come a falling away first, and that man of sin be revealed.
And read that again. That what?
Slakia. And that man of sin be revealed.
That man of sin be revealed. That's what's going on. All right. Captain Asha just brought a lot of clarity to the man of sin. Hey, read on, King.
Counter 1. The son of perdition.
The who?
The son of perdition.
The son of perdition. Right? His skirt has been lifted up. And it's clear as day. All you brothers and sisters trying to save your oppressor. You're trying to save the same man that beat the skin off your grandmother's back. You're trying to save the same man that shoots your brother down in the street, unarmed. You're trying to save the same serial killer that shoots up our people yearly, man, that runs into schools wide open, man, with his doggone AR-15 because he got a mental problem. Okay, the spirit that is within him is not upright. Okay, it's not upright because the Most High designed him to oppress you. Okay, and he's being revealed in this day. He's being revealed, and the brother brought out some very informative information, man. Okay, if you didn't catch the class, you got to watch this from the beginning. You can't come in and watch it in the middle. You got to watch it from the beginning. So if you caught this thing toward the end or toward the middle. You got to go back and watch from the beginning. Okay, because the brother was cooking, man. Very important. And he's got some more stuff that he want to show you. All right, I got some stuff in the queue. You gonna play the videos yourself, or you want me to play?
Yeah, I'm gonna let you play it.
Okay,
I'm gonna stop sharing my screen.
All right, so fair use. Go ahead, King. Go ahead.
Now, I wanted to highlight this next verse as well. In the next verse, it says, "Who opposeth and exalteth himself above all that is called God, or that is worshipped, so that he as God sitteth in the temple of God, showing himself that he is God." These people want you to worship them. See, the common trend between Mr. Cordell, your Aquino, and many of these other sick, depraved men that we examined in this lesson, they have a insatiable hunger for power, right? But what these men are is a representation and just a mirror of what they are as a nation. Even the people who you go to work with, who tell you that my forefathers weren't alive, or I wasn't alive when my forefathers were enslaving people. I have nothing to do with that. I love all people. These people today will ignore the vicious tyranny that you fall victim to, because to acknowledge that means I have to be uncomfortable in the world that was made for me. These people are accomplices. These people are the people that dig the ditches under the crawl space and say, I had no hand in the murders. All I did was dig the holes. These are those people. What you need to understand is an accomplice to murder is a murderer. And that's what these people are, who tell you that slavery was a long time ago and I don't see color. You should get over that and get rid of the hatred in your heart. These are accomplices to the murder that your people face every day.
You know what that is? That's hegemonic deception. Okay, that's people in power pushing that narrative.
That's right.
Our people believe everything they hear. Hey, there's a very popular podcaster. What do you call it, man? You know, YouTuber, I guess you want to call it, right? You know, I don't want to say his name right now. He is a brother that's out of my hometown, Detroit. You know, he's a self-made millionaire. I'll be honest. Okay, some of y'all may know who I'm talking about, but this brother right here be riding Trump's job, man. He be riding Trump's job. I believe Trump got him on the payroll. I don't understand it.
Oh yeah, of course.
Okay, I don't understand it, man. You got a lot of people that act like they're blind to our oppression. You know, they act like they're blind to our oppression and what's really going on out here. You know what I mean? Hey, our people got to wake up. You cannot allow, right, vain deceit and philosophy to clog up your mind, right, and turn away from your people, because if you do that, you are going to be thrust through. If you join to these people in that day, you're going to be thrust through right along with them. They're going to fall. They're going to fall. Thus saith the Lord, Khan.
That's right, Khan.
People wicked as hell, man. Go ahead, King.
The end is terror, man. You know, that's that psyop that the Adawan is talking about. You know, that's your Lieutenant Colonel Michael Aquino. You know, grandfather of psyop. Now, how fitting that a high priest of Satan and a child abuser is the grand wizard of psyop. Look at his face, man. Look at it. See, what you want is Esau to look like a demon in order to believe that he's a demon.
Right.
No. Esau's gonna look like this. This is what Esau's gonna look like. Let me show you something. Esau's gonna look like this guy, right? Let me show them this real quick.
Slugging one.
Go ahead.
Also had a precept for you as well, if you like.
Go ahead.
Counter to one. This is the book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 14 and verse 21. And this was an occasion to deceive the world, for men serving either calamity or tyranny did ascribe unto stones and stocks the incommunicable name. So again, like Otto is going into with these psyops, right? The coiner of the term himself, right? They done all these things in an attempt, and of course, an occasion to deceive the world. Of course, the world we know, is Israel, right? Jumping out of verse 23, it says, "For whilst they slew their children in sacrifices, or used secret ceremonies, or made revelings of strange rites, they kept neither lives nor marriages any longer undefiled, but either one slew another traitorously, or grieved him by adultery, so that there reigned in all men without exception blood, manslaughter, theft, and dissimulation, corruption, unfaithfulness, tumults, perjury, disquieting of good men, forgetfulness of good turns, defiling of souls, changing of kind, disorder in marriages, adultery, and shameless uncleanness." So, hey, that sums up everything we just went into. And this is all Bible that just came out, right?
That sounds like a recap of 2025. That sound like listen. The Bible is very relevant to your lived experience, because the Bible talks about your lived experience. The Bible talks about when you were put on those slave ships by your enemies, and where you would be sold, and no man should redeem you. The Bible talked about how these people would oppress you and continue to devour you as a nation. And that you should go out every day in doubt of your life. The Bible taught that your young men should fall by the sword, and that your men of war should die in the wars, right? The Bible talked about how your women would be used as weapons against you, and how your children would be taken from you, and there would be no might in your hands. That is the Bible talking about what is happening to your people today.
Hey, Salakia. But the thing is our people, you're absolutely right there, King. The Bible does talk about those things. The Bible also talks about how your oppressor is going to fall, and how you're finally going to get your act together, right? And you're going to rule over your oppressor. The Bible speaks on that. So when you try to defend your oppressor, it lets me know that you don't know the Bible.
You don't know it.
It lets me know that you don't read. Okay, the Bible has the Bible is it is a factual book. It is a history book. It is a book of wars. It is a book of prophecy. But the Bible has a beginning and it has an ending.
Yep.
It also has what you would call a main idea.
Yep. A plot.
Hey, Captain Ashala. The Bible also has main characters.
Yep.
This is what trips me out, man. Hey, the Bible also has villains.
That's right.
Antagonists. And this ain't no doggone fiction book either. But see, when you listen to a doctrine, when you listen to a flawed doctrine, instead of reading, the greatest book to ever be assembled on the face of the earth, when you actually read it, you actually get out of it what we're speaking of, okay? But when you're coaxed, right, with doggone philosophy and vain deceit, you come up with your narrative, all right, which is God loves everybody, and this devil, right, that we're looking at right here, deserves heaven twice.
Because surely this angelic boy would never, ever do something like what this sentence is saying. Dylan Roof walked into an unsuspecting black church and killed 9 people.
Right.
We were told on Clubhouse live in front of hundreds of people, when I asked the young man, hey, should the people in that church in North Carolina, knowing what we know now, should they have trusted Dylan Roof? Brother said yes.
Brother said
Because
yes.
we believe that is our mantle of responsibility to prove that we can be more human and more compassionate than people that devour us. That is the psyop that's been placed on you. That's why this man here is so decorated. Look at that. Look how decorated that man is. It's distinguished because this is a champion of the people that you cape for. This guy. See, the elder made a I don't want you all made a very a very notable examination, or he noticed something very, very peculiar about a lot of these articles concerning these serial killers. When I was presenting this to him, he said it appears in many of these articles that they worship and idolize these men and the way that they describe what they've done, and it's almost like they romanticize it. Well, the reality is they do, because without men like this, there would be no United States of America. Without men like this, there would be no expansion in the West. Without men like this, there would never, ever be a billion-dollar industry that exists off of the trauma of Black people, because the trauma of Black people would not exist without men like this. These people are championed by the people that you want to be buddy-buddy with. Even though they don't say out of their mouths, I'm glad my forefathers slew the Native Americans. I'm glad my forefathers enslaved your Black ass. I'm glad my forefathers conquered, raped, robbed, and pillaged hundreds, even thousands of civilizations on the earth and poisoned everything that's beautiful. Even though they don't say that out of their own lips, they don't regret it. Because without men like this, those people could not sit comfortably in your face as you complain about the oppression that your people are faced with and give you the white corporate nod.
Right.
I'm sorry to hear that, buddy. It's not my problem.
Not my problem.
Because they speak loftily concerning oppression. I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna show you something.
You want to see the video now?
Con, show that.
All right, fair use.
Fair use. Hey, fair use. All right. Fair use. We just simple brothers that teach the Bible and love our people. That's it. That's all we're doing. And we're just showing information that you made public. Why are we the bad guys?
That is correct.
Is that before or after you release them to labor traffickers?
Senator, every child that comes into our care gets a Know Your Rights presentation, as well as...
Have you read these New York Times reports, these stories, the series of stories the New York Times has done on the children who are in your care? Have you read them?
Yes, I have.
Have you read that children are scrubbing dishes? They are operating heavy machinery. They are delivering meals. They are harvesting coffee. They are working construction. They are working as housekeepers. They are working overnight shifts at plants where they are not paid. They are not going to school. They are not cared for. They are not giving meals. Almost all of it illegally. Are you aware of that? That's a yes or no.
Yes.
Do the Know Your Rights presentation help them in those situations?
Senator, ORR...
That's a yes or no, I think. Do you really think that you're helping these children by releasing them to labor traffickers and, yes, sex traffickers? 85,000 children whom you have no contact with? And your answer is, we gave them a presentation before we turned them over to these people who are exploiting them on a scale not seen in this country for 100 years, a century. A century. It's a disgrace in the United States of America. Let me ask you this. You did an audit, I noticed, where you gave yourself a clean bill of health. So just tell me this. Do you require sponsors to document their relationship with the child?
Senator, we have a thorough vetting process.
Do you
in
require
which-
sponsors to document their relationship with the child?
Yes, we go through.
No, you do
process.
not. You do not. Have you read the Senate's Permanent Subcommittee on Investigations reports on your office? There was one in 2016. There was one in 2018. There was one in 2020. There was one in 2022. Spanning administrations, what they found is you do not require sponsors to document their relationship with the child. You release them anyway. What about background checks? Do you require background checks on all adults in the household?
In cases where the child is being released to their parents, we do not require background checks. But Senator, I would
Do you
really
require
like,
background checks on all adults in the household in any case?
Yes, in some cases we do.
What percentage of cases do you do background checks on the adults in the household?
I don't have that number in front of me.
Do you do home visits in all cases? You can actually see where these children are being released, whose care you're putting them in?
We do not do home visits in all cases. Senator, I'd really like the opportunity to talk about what we are doing.
I know what you're doing, and it's incredibly and totally inadequate. And we can read about it in the New York Times. Since you say you've read it, let's talk a little bit about that New York Times report, if we could. Here's a quote from the April 17th installment. Again and again, veteran government staffers and outside contractors told HHS, including reports that reached the secretary, that children appeared to be at risk. Did you warn the secretary that children were at risk?
Senator, I'm in regular contact with the secretary. And
Did you warn him that children were at risk?
Safety and well-being of children is our top priority.
Did you warn him?
This is the officer of Health and Human Services. The officer of Health and Human Services is tasked with ensuring the well-being and security of displaced children, which means what? Under your current administration, Issachar and many other of our tribes members, our tribesmen, are being taken away from their children because they don't fall under the guidelines of the new citizenship requirement, which means people who have been here on visas and are working citizens in the United States have been here for 10 plus years, they're being deported to places that they're not even from. And the children are left. And you know what's happening to the children? The children are being placed under the care of Health and Human Services, who is being cross-examined for having neglected their sworn promise to protect human life, because these children have been found in sex trafficking rings, many of them missing, and in slave labor camps. These are children that were born in the United States. So what we're trying to tell you is these people were not ever meant and have never created a system that was designed for your well-being. So think about it for a second. Black brother, black sister, Latino brother, Latino sister, Native American brother, Native American sister. Think about it for a second. You think these people are going to bend themselves backwards to ensure that your community is protected? I think not. No, I think not. I think these people benefit off of the disarray and corrosion of your people because you're cattle to them. You are a mean of sustenance. You're something to devour, to eat. And these people have an insatiable hunger because their wickedness has no depths. There is no ends to its depths. Their heart is deep, and they devise wickedness upon their beds when they wake up and when they lie down. This woman is being questioned for, why are you sex trafficking children? And her answer is, can we talk about what we are doing instead of, what we're deficient in?
Right.
That's these people.
That's how Esau feel when you complaining about not receiving reparations, right? Not being considered equal, right? You still didn't get 40 acres in the damn mule. That's how they feel about you. That's how they feel about you. Let's move on. Let me tell you how I'm progressing. These devils, hey, the captain showing you, man, that these devils, everything that they have gained has been by way of wickedness.
Every single way.
Everything that they have gained. You trying to reach the upper heights of success, right? Which is the so-called American dream. And what you don't realize is that the person that you're idolizing, the person that you're trying to be, has gained everything that he has of pure wickedness. And his skirt is being lifted up. I'm loving this, man. I'm loving this.
He's being exposed right before your very eyes. A lot of y'all require a sign. We're showing it to you. See, this is for Jake that comes under our comments on the comment board and says, y'all are hate mongers and you're demonic because you teach hate and you guys are full of hatred. And what about black on black crime? Like, that's for those guys. This is who this lesson is for. So I suggest you go to the beginning of the lesson and learn about your white American heroes. Learn about your white American heroes. All right? Go back, watch the beginning of the lesson, and learn about the white American heroes that you're caping for. And then go have that conversation with your white friends. I bet you that conversation becomes, what about black on black crime?
They ain't gonna do it up. All right. We sick.
People, man.
We sick, boss. We sick.
We's hurting.
We's
right?
hurting. But I'll tell you one thing, we's ain't rich.
Yeah.
We's ain't rich, niggas.
Hey, these people benefit off of you heavily.
Right.
You're a cash cow. You ain't seen none of that.
That's right.
They'll kill you before you try to own what's yours. What?
Talk about it,
Prince, you're trying to do what? You want your what? What are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? We're gonna say Prince had an overdose on his medication. Wait, Michael Jackson, you're trying to nigga, who do you think you are? You trying to own Marvel.
Right.
What? Michael Jackson died of an overdose.
Right.
Whitney Houston, you're trying to own your what? You want your what? Your masters? Wait, so my children can't eat off you no more? Whitney Houston died in her bathtub of an overdose. R. Kelly, you've been terrorizing young children for years.
Right.
And we were signing you checks. Not once did we bat an eye. Wait, but you're trying to do what now?
Oh, P. Diddy. You want to sue?
You want to sue who?
The liquor companies?
You want to own what? Oh, we got you, nigga.
Right.
That's these people. See, these people don't operate in justice. These people are not worried about justice. Your people that you voted in because you thought, surely Trump is going to be, good for Black America. A brother that's on his class now watching. He didn't get into office to ensure that justice was certain. No, he's not worried about justice. Justice is against his education. We read that to you in Wisdom of Solomon. What he's focused on is, what can I get out of this?
He worried about just us.
Just us. What can I get?
Right.
Justice ain't on the list, because what justice looks like is you putting shackles on my ankles and throwing me in the ocean is what these people deserve. These people are sick and depraved. That's what justice brings. I don't want that. So we can release the files. The files couldn't be released. It will sit. It's been tampered with, and it's gonna ruin a lot of good people's lives. What? So the reason why we can't see who's purchasing children and abusing them is because a lot of good people might be implicated. Give me a break. These are the people that you are putting your trust in. That's the people. You want us to convince God to let these people in the kingdom. If you could, you would debate with the Most High God on why your white Edomite friend deserves the kingdom of God and why all white people deserve to be there. That's what you're doing. But what we're doing is facing reality and looking Esau in the face and telling him he's a devil the Bible speaks of. And that his time will come to a crashing end and will end in the screams of the people that he has terrorized for millennia. And he will be haunted until his death and until the ending of his house with the blood that he pursued, because he will be drunken with his own. Bahashima Mashiach.
Bahashima Mashiach Yahushua. And that's Bible what the brother's speaking. I'm going to read it. And this is the book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 5, and verse number 1. And it reads, "Then shall the righteous man stand in great boldness before the face of such that have afflicted him and made no account of his labors." I love that part right there. And made no account of his labors. When they see it, they shall be troubled with terrible fear, and they shall be amazed at the strangeness of his salvation, so far beyond all that they have looked for. The tides are going to change against these devils, man. And we're going to be put in our power seat. It's coming. That's what the Bible says.
The Bible say that.
That's what the Bible says. And we know that, hey, that's why we're being patient, right? Here are the patience and the faith of the saints. Here are they that keep the commandments of the Most High God, right? This is why we do what we do. This is why we have the faith that we have. Okay? And this is why we have the patience that we have. And just to add to Captain Oscar Allah's point, you jokers who want to call us terrorists, and you want to call us, you want to call us, you want to say that all we are is about is hate, right? We're going to put all these labels and these tags on us. But what cross have we burned? Who have we lynched? What kind of crimes have we committed?
Right.
Just like the brother said. We just young brothers reading the Bible, man.
That's it.
Okay? All we doing is reading prophecy. Your demise, man of perdition. You the damn devil that the Bible speaks of. And your skirt has been lifted up. Okay? Hey, don't get mad at me, all right, because you decided to give us freedom of speech. All right, but I'm going to tell you something. The fake Jew, he trying to change that thing. Okay? That devil, that so-called Jewish monster, he trying to change that thing. He's trying to write it in the law that if you speak against the small hat, it's a crime. Okay? But I'm going to tell you what, all right? And the Bible speak about that too. Right? The Bible speak about that too. If brothers got to go down, right? Shema Mashiach Yahushua, then so be it.
That's right.
Then so be it. Right? The dead in Christ shall rise first, man. Huh?
Con.
Okay. And we not worried about if we get thrown in the jailhouse. Hey, we ain't worried about it. Because the Most High God is going to give us the words to speak.
Hey, now this nigga.
Go ahead, King.
Now this niggas in the crowd that heard, huh? Death? Jail time? Man, listen. I'm about to go make this offering, brother.
They ain't reading, huh? They not reading.
Hey, and what happened? That brother that was in the midst of the brothers Maccabees, Judas Maccabeus, and his father Mattathias.
Mm-hmm.
As Mattathias said those words boldly, that we're never gonna transgress the laws of our father. That brother that moved out of the crowd to go make sacrifice to the idols on that altar, what happened? That brother was struck down.
That's right.
Because this is what you gotta understand, Jake. What keeps these people's boat afloat is weakness like you. It has to be a weakness in the whole of the ship that black people are building. It's gotta be somebody that ain't down for the cause, so that we can do our COINTELPRO, and so that we can do our psyops, so that Mr. Dean Coral, Mr. Michael Aquino, right, the godfather of psyop, so that his children can prevail, right?
Sluck it.
Go ahead.
I had a quick precept for you as well. This is the book of Psalm chapter 94 and verse 16. Just to add on to this point. Who will rise up for me against the evildoers? Or who will stand up for me against the workers of iniquity? Right? So, like I don't want going into, hey, we can't have that mindset of where we're afraid of these things. We're afraid of what it is, of course, that they may do to this mortal body. Right? We got to fear him that'll kill the soul. Right?
That's right. That's right.
We bring these things out boldly and stand against these evildoers, man. Because again, like verse 17, it says, unless the Lord had been my help, my soul had almost dwelt in silence. The Most High, he showed us this truth. He showed us these things throughout the scriptures. And of course, we bring it to light, man. Right? Through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Shema Mashiach, Yahweh, man. Right? And I'm going to just yield on that point.
God, good scripture, brother. Amen. C4N with another lesson on reality. I want to thank Adawan Ma'akaya for hosting this, allowing me to be a guest on this show. Big fan of C4N. Amen. C4N is raw and it is not for the faint of heart. So come in a warrior spirit and be willing to face reality in the face, man, and look at it in this ugly grill and understand that, listen, the Bible is real.
Right.
And the life that we live in is biblical. All right. So there's no escaping reality. All right, brothers and sisters, man, listen, this is for the edification of the people, the glorification of the Most High God. May the hearers of these words tonight, may it offer some sort of realization to you through the Spirit that the God of Israel is only for his people. And though these people have gained a foot and their bands seem strong and their strength firm, their end is terror, but yours is the kingdom. All right? By Shema Mashiach Yahushua.
By Shema Mashiach Yahushua. Hey, brother, and you welcome to come back anytime, man. You wanna bring out another fire lesson? Hey, this right here was much needed. Okay, hey, I really enjoyed it. I hope that the people were edified. Okay, as well. All right, you're welcome to come back anytime. Hey, we may do a flip flop, all right, and have that young king, have your brother come on here too. All right, and spit some of that fire. You know what I mean? Hey, but we love Captain Ashala, man. Okay, and the brother, we seen the brother grow in the spirit, man. He's growing mighty. Okay, all praise to the Most High by Hashima Mashiach Yahushua for this brother. Okay, and all the work that he does.
God.
Right, hey, look at this guy. Hey, look at this guy. Hey, now see, hey, that spirit of jealousy, man. And tell all praises to the Most High. We
Man
love
said he want to
Adonai.
be on C4N. Everybody want to be on C4N.
Hey, C4N is his, man. All these platforms are his, man. The brothers are welcome anytime. Adonai, y'all were all. Hey, the people want to see Adonai, y'all were all on C4N. Hey, go ahead and bring it there, Adonai. Okay. All praise to the Most High. Bahashima Mashiach Yahushua. Hey, once again, a Feast of Tabernacles. Okay, Adonai said great flex. Feast of Tabernacles is coming up, family. Okay, the Feast of Tabernacles is coming up, right? If you brothers and sisters want to congregate with the Sons of Thunder Israelites for the Feast of Tabernacles, okay, we want you to go ahead and RSVP. Once again, I'm going to go ahead and put this link in the chat, okay? I'm going to put this link in the chat. Okay, this is our Eventbrite link. This is how you get your tickets, right? If you want to RSVP for the Feast of Tabernacles, go ahead and hit this link, okay? And you can go ahead and you can RSVP. If you got any questions, right, follow up. If you got any questions, follow up with us at sotfeastday@gmail.com. Okay, I'm getting ready to go ahead and post that. All right, at the bottom of the screen here, sotfeastday@gmail.com. Once again, for our executive Patreon members, and our brothers who have the highest YouTube membership, our brothers and sisters, right? You're going to get a discount. All right. You got a discount code coming. So be patient. We're going to give you that discount code here in the coming days. Okay. All right. So if you want a discount, you know what I mean? You know, we advise you brothers and sisters to join the Patreon anyway. Okay. We'll advise you brothers and sisters to join the Patreon anyway. You don't understand the amount of information that you're missing out on, the amount of edification that you're missing out on. All right, from our Patreon, we got the best Patreon, all right, on the planet. Here at Sons of Thunder Israelites. Con? All right?
Right.
But Feast of Tabernacles, we're going to celebrate the Feast of Tabernacles October the 5th through the 12th. Okay, October the 5th at evening through October the 12th at evening. All right, but we're going to actually come together as a unit, right, that Thursday during that time frame, okay, through the 12th. Con? You got all the information there on the Eventbrite. Did I put the link in there yet? Did I post that link?
No, you didn't. I think the elder did though, but it's not popping up as a link for me. Right here.
Yeah, you should. Let me go ahead and post it again. Okay. All right. You should just be able to click that right there. You click that link that I just posted in the chat. You should be able to pull up the Eventbrite. All right. And RSVP. You want to see brothers and sisters in Atlanta, Georgia, for the Feast of Tabernacles. Is that working right there?
Counter to one.
Okay, count. All praises to the Most High. Okay. All right, brothers and sisters, Lord willing. Hey, very interesting lesson next week. I'm gonna put a cap on it right now. Okay, I want brothers and sisters to marinate on this beautiful lesson right here. I ain't gonna even give you no hint. Okay, I ain't gonna even. hey, will we bring it out next week, Lord willing? Lord willing, I may post a thumbnail in advance.
God.
Okay. Yeah, that's kind of proud, Mike. That's kind of proud, man. Listen to me, man. It's kind of proud. We're gonna bring something out next week that's very necessary for the nation as well. Okay. But once again, I want y'all to marinate on this. And if you came in during the middle of this lesson or toward the end, go back and watch it from the beginning. You have to. You have to go back and watch it from the beginning to get the full understanding and edification. Con?
That's right. That's right.
All right, brothers and sisters. All right. Until we meet again. All right. Shalom.
Shalom, family.
Thank you for watching. If you would like to support the body, you can donate via Cash App, PayPal, or Zelle. We are the Sons of Thunder. It's our heart's prayer and desire for Israel that they might be saved.